Creator, I'm coming to you this good winter day like this, Creator, I just ask you to guide this tribal council in the right direction to do the right thing for our people like that, Creator. Creator, I ask you to look after all of our elders and all of our children, all of our servicemen and women, wherever they might be like that, Creator. Just bring them home safely. Creator, I ask you to be with all the veterans that returned home, Creator, that need you in their life like that, Creator. Creator, again, I just ask you to guide us to do the right thing for our people and guide us on the right path. In the most heavenly name, I pray. Amen.
Amen.
Of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Call the roll, Charles.
Chief Chester Brooks.
Here.
Assistant Chief Charles Randall, here. Secretary Nathan Young, the fourth. Here. Secretary, Treasurer Joe Brooks.
Here.
Member Brad Skillscrow. Here. Member Jeremy Johnson.
Here.
Member Nikki Michael.
Here.
All present and counted for, we have here. Four.
Can I hear a motion to approve the agenda?
So moved.
Best looking crowd we've had in a long time.
I'll say There we go.
I understand that there's several, okay. All in favor of approval of the agenda?
Can we discuss that first? I'd just like to ask you to move the foreman contract dispute up to now so that he doesn't have to sit through a bunch of our stuff.
We've got a
Suggestion.
I guess, actually, we could probably address it right after we get the
Okay.
formality.
Okay.
This.
Chief,
All in, Joe Brooks.
Chief, I agree the foreman contract should be up there under unfinished business.
Are there any other comments on the agenda? Then all in favor of approval of the agenda, please say aye. Aye.
No.
You want to stay up there?
I'm voting no because the foreman contract is not new business.
Yeah, the foreman contract is not down until new business, but it may be something we need to talk about in executive session anyway,
I agree with that.
which
But
I'm
it's still not new
it's not
business.
personnel.
Can we make a motion to go into executive session?
Actually, I've heard from several tribal members that they have got complaints and requests discussion about dismissing certain tribal employees or at least writing them up. Can I see the hands of those out there in the audience that wish to talk about employment issues? We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. Which one of you other tribal members has got something to talk about that won't require an executive session? Paul, tell me.
I didn't say anything.
I thought you handled it.
No,
That's Roger had behind
right
you.
behind
I think
That was Roger.
you. It was Roger.
Yeah, I've got a small presentation I want for the tribal council.
After what?
I got a presentation for the tribal council. Look at,
A presentation?
yes,
How long did it take?
for 15 minutes.
15 minutes.
I can go at the end.
We're gonna be here all afternoon, folks.
Well, that's why you make the big bucks.
Is there anybody else that doesn't want to talk about tribal employees? Bonnie Joe, I'll recognize you, but if you've got something to
I'm
say
not
about a
saying-
tribal employee, you
I'm not.
find
I wanna know
yourself
about
in
the child
executive
support grant,
session
Chief.
immediately.
I want to know about the child support grant. If you'll look on your reports, I would like you to see how much is left to spend before September and how much has been expended and why there is that much left.
That's a
Be
fair
on the
question.
Family and Children's Services grant. That's a simple grant question, Chief.
We're getting off the beat or what?
Huh? Because there was $400 and some thousand left at the end of the year, and only 19,000 have been expended.
I don't know, actually, I haven't clue. I think you're right about the amount of the budget.
I am right.
Uh,
Who's supposed to be?
And I'm not sure that anybody here can directly answer your question.
I'm in charge of the financials, but it's hard to review them until you don't get them till the day of the council meeting.
Right, but it was on there in December though, or in the January meeting or December meeting.
And I brought it up in workshop just a while ago.
And so, I don't see any way they're gonna expend $400 and some thousand by September. Which is a shame, because then this tribe is gonna be giving back money.
I want one of them papers.
Which is absolutely not good.
It's not good, Joe, you know that, you know that. I would also like to know about the Child Development 477 funds. If those, have we done a drawdown? If we have, why you weren't aware of it? If we haven't, when are we gonna do that? Because there's over $5 million in 477 funds at the Cherokee Nation.
I can answer the question about that. No, we haven't got any money from the Cherokee Nation yet.
I think we wanna put it in our bucket.
I'll recognize in just a minute. We're still on this one. money out of the Cherokee Nation money?
Yes, you do a drawdown like we do diabetes money and everything else. It's not rocket science. I mean, we do it on other things. You've had all these meetings with Washington County Foundation, supposedly they would know how to do it. Gene Lewis or whoever.
It's my understanding they're withholding that money at the current time. But I don't know how we get.
That's your understanding via who?
So you might talk to the Cherokee Nation?
Yes.
Who did you talk to?
I've called the Cherokee Nation,
Okay.
the principal chief about it. As a matter of fact, as I told you, about almost 2 weeks ago, he said he'd dwelled into it and called me back,
Right.
and he has not.
All you gotta do is walk into county and they ought to be able to tell you if there's been a drawdown.
Are you talking about the drawdown for this year's?
The $5.7 million at the Cherokee
It's not released
Nation.
from the Cherokee Nation, so we can't draw down from it.
Why?
I have no idea, they're holding it up for some whatever reason.
Isn't that an implementation they have to do? Does our tribe have to do an implementation to get all that money from child care? It's in the MOA. We don't
You're
have to
correct,
do it.
you are correct.
Am
It
I
is, it's an
correct?
MOA, and so it just needs, they're waiting on a contract.
Exactly, it's an MOA, and so therefore, they can't just go down and draw it down. You have to, do the tribe has to do an implementation. I think that's the answer.
Okay, thanks.
You recognize,
Okay, I don't know what she's talking about, but me as a tribal member and somebody else, other tribal members in here kind of lost what she's talking about. Know what paperwork does she have that we don't have, that you guys have, and she's got all these budgets going on. We all want the same paperwork. I'm lost here. This is my first tribal council meeting with you guys, and this is the paperwork we get, but she's got some budgets, she got some numbers. What's up, man? Can we have them?
I just know there's 477 monies.
Well, we
because
just wanna know where
I
you
was on
got
the
your
council.
paperwork.
I don't have any paperwork.
Well, you got something going on there, don't you? Because you awfully know a lot of numbers.
I do. I have a lot of friends in this county.
Nah, you just know it. So where's this paperwork she's talking about? Is tribal council members, do we get it? Or are we gonna stay in the dark?
You'll be taking the door.
Yeah, you can have them, we'll do it.
All
We'll do an
right,
act.
cool.
yes, we got,
Who else wants some? Who else wants some of these? Because we make copies. We can get some copies. We got a copy machine?
You can't get to it. That room's not enough.
Why not? We got chief right there. We got council right here. You gonna say we can't get nothing out of this building to make copies?
Well, you can, yeah, but you're gonna have to get.
I didn't
through it.
realize you was in charge of this building.
I'm not.
Joe.
Okay. Who else? Who does the budget numbers too? There you go. Here you go, Bruce, some more. Thank you. My tribe.
now while the copies have been made, is there any other tribal employee that member wishes to ask a question, or any tribal member, I mean, other than an employee issue? Sarah?
Hello, I'm Sarah Boyd.
Oh,
My
yeah,
sister
right there,
Crystal
man.
Dombrowski is out of the country, and she was wanting me to read a statement. If you guys allow me to read that to you guys, which I appreciate. It says, "Good afternoon, everyone. First, I want to express my gratitude for allowing me to address the council and my fellow tribal citizens via my sister. Though I am thousands of miles away from home, my heart remains with my family and my tribe. First, I would like to address my Facebook post regarding the proposed policy for the use of the Forsyth Hall. I utilized the most public forum I knew to express my personal concern to what I perceived as an injustice to our elders and our children. In doing this, I've learned several things. First, through the proposed policy states it is authorized for Title VI program manager. It is now my understanding that only a portion of the policy was changed or added by said individual. Second, in generating conversation among tribal citizens, I learned that many don't agree with different parts of the policy, and I would ask each council member to take this info consideration should put in, threw me off, when voting. Third, during the same meeting, several tribal citizens expressed their desire for an outdoor kitchen. This would be an excellent addition that would promote community and culture. I ask that the tribal council pursue this endeavor for us. Next, this whole policy is bunk. I believe it should be scrapped and rewritten, and not just by one employee or employees and council, but also include those who truly should be influencing tribal policy, the tribal citizens. Yes, it is true, our citizens have become lax in tribal government for too long. However, I see improvement on the horizon. I believe this council is a council that listens to the people and wants resolved the hurt that has been caused in the past. With that being said, I would like to see a committee formed focusing on creating policy regarding our community center and an olive branch extended by including tribal members in creating procedures and policy. Lastly, it has come to my attention that several people from Title VI have taken an attitude of personal ownership to the community center, now known as Forsyth Hall. This is where the issue of contention comes into play. The attitude that Forsyth Hall is only for Title VI use has gotten out of hand. There's some I have to skip because of issues. There's a letter by Cynthia LeConte, Director of the Office of American Indian, Alaska Natives and Native Hawaiian Programs, Administration on Aging. She states, quote, "Since the building is owned by Delaware, we can't implement restrictions on the actual facility." She goes on to say that the grant explicitly states that the Title VI funds can only be used for those age 60 and over. And she recommended that everything be locked up down to salt and pepper shakers to prevent theft and damage. How insulting how insulting is the oh my God. Insinuation that the Indians would steal the government salt and pepper shakers. I promise you, most, if not all, tribal citizens have salt and pepper shakers. We don't want theirs. Furthermore, Councilor Nikki Michaels shared the original grant request for the community center. It states in part, the community center will also provide space for formalized and informal interaction. Tribal committee meeting and informal workshops are essential process in Delaware tribal affairs. To paraphrase the next portion of the grant request, it states that the community center would act as a conduit for which its members can experience personal space and ownership to establish a high comfort level, to freely interact with tribal government and community. It was from this request that our community center came to fruition. I don't know what that means. The perceived entitlement to Forsyth Hall by the Title VI employees limits or fully freezes out accessibility to our community center. This concern has been shared with me personally by individual committee members and organizations alike. One or two complaints might be overlooked. However, consistent complaints over a period of time from several different sources cause a need for this issue to be looked into. At this point, I will start to encourage and assist those with concern in drafting a formal complaint to be handed to the tribal operations manager and CC'd to tribal council. The word community was mentioned several times in the original proposal. As a child, my tribe was my community. We looked out for each other. I pray we can regain this sense of community. One issue, Crystal Faxon Dombrowski. Thank you.
Jared.
I agree. I want to say that, okay? And there's no but here at all. I want to do what we can to
But
get
you had
that.
some.
No, I don't.
And I'm gonna do my part. I'll
Thousand children.
make sure you can hear. I want to do my part. I agree. I've actually got a list of, through the concerns that were listed from the conversations that took place. There's a whole list of concerns here that I've taken down, took note of. I want you to know that I did take note of these things to bring with me. And we've discussed some ways to address all those. Right now, my opinion, I'm not gonna vote to approve this, and the other council members are of the same opinion, okay? We do want to look at the initial, what is that used for? Why do we have it? What is the use for it? Why do we feel we aren't able to get there too, you know? And so we wanna make sure that, I like the idea of the committee also, to give the input, and I will push forward to support that. So we just need that consistent, you know, feedback, and it may be a committee via text or whatever that may be, but whatever we can do.
Be on the committee.
And we, yeah, so we can, and, I don't know how, whatever we
Someone
can
be
do
on the
here,
committee.
I will support that, but yes, the concerns are heard. I'm glad that we can, I think it's, when we look at it logically and not with the, you know, when we can sit and talk and meet eye to eye, and even if we don't see eye to eye at times, we can disagree in a manner like we normally do on one-to-one basis. I think sometimes through social media, it becomes a little clouded, little clouded there.
Who's
And
we?
so, what
Who's
do
all
I
gonna be
mean?
discussing? Who's all we?
When we discuss in social media,
I don't care
sometimes.
about social media, I'm talking about who you gonna discuss everything with. I mean, you guys gonna get with them folks and talk all about it?
Sure.
I mean, it's good to feed the elders and all that and everything, but why don't y'all consider, I mean, we got land back here, make our own building back there again. We got land right back here, don't we?
We also have this hall that was originally intended as a meeting place also. We also have, hopefully within the next few months, we will have another area for community meetings over in this building. It used to be the child care offices. It does have a kitchen space also, where we can maybe hold fry bread making classes or indigenous food making classes and things like that. So the plan is to begin opening those up for community events again. So I do want to work with you to get that, because we need to work together. We need to connect each other. Right now, right this moment, we're all over the place. And it's not a good feeling for me, sitting here, to know that we're fractured and at each other's, you know, butting heads with each other. It's not a good feeling sitting here to see.
I don't know which one of you.
I just want to say that it's great to see the faces out here, because we really need your involvement. Typical council meeting, there'll be no one sitting out there, and we do want you all involved. Believe it or not, I mean, the social media, a lot of things really get twisted in that. There's a lot of, just plain to put it plain, there's a lot of lies out there. There's a lot of reality too. And we just need to get communication going between everyone and get these social media things out of the way. But I'm glad to see you here.
That's the two differences. That's social media, that's Facebook. Keep that over there, you know? This is real right here.
Yeah,
You don't on Facebook, social media, keep that
I'm gonna
drama
call you out
there.
of order if you don't quit interrupting.
Yeah.
Go Brooks.
Yes, sir, I also agree with you. And I've spelled that out for a lot of months. That William Forsythe donated a lot of money to build that for a community center. We didn't even have Title VI. When Kay Anderson run the kitchen, we had no Title VI. If you read on the front of the building, right out here, it says Delaware Community Center. And it should be able to be used by all Delawares.
I've just got one thing to say. Before this Title VI thing came up, we had my mother's dinner there in this hallway, in this hall. And now we're not even allowed in here. And it's become very personal to me, because now some of this is coming over on my daughter, and I know better.
We've
I
already,
raised this girl, she knows better. And what this person is saying, I know it's not the truth. And whatever's hidden in darkness, it will come to light. And I'm very, very upset with the way this lady is coming, doing things. It's not right. It's not hers.
Becky.
Okay, so I do want to, I'm going to try not to fall apart, because it is so personal to all of us. We were the ones that tried to arrange for the kids to be there for Lenape-OCB on Thursday night, and I chair the Lenape-OC Foundation. I'm also the one that wrote the original grant, 1997 and 98, it's right here. What it says is the mission of the Delaware Tribe of Indians Child Care and Community Center is to build a strong Delaware nation. This was before the Delaware Nation, the name. By caring, valuing, serving, assisting, educating, and training tribal members. The Delaware tribe seeks to attain a standing of self-sufficiency through utilizing meaningful resources depending upon well-educated population and relying upon deeply rooted cultural integrity. The Delaware tribe relies upon their Lenape traditions, values, and beliefs to pave a unique and important path to their future. And I believe we really need to go back to that. And I also want to say we are working on some strategic planning after the meeting, and hopefully we can start to put down on paper and into action those values.
Montague Griffith.
I hope in your planning, you will put in there the cleaning of that room.
That will be in the policy.
Thank you. Previously, the cleaning crews have cleaned that room.
Absolutely.
Now we're told that Fanita and Archie clean it, but every day we find food on the floor. It's never swept and mopped completely, and it used to be. It's never swept and mopped completely. It's spot mopped and spot swept. They start pushing chairs in before anybody leaves that room. And line item.
I will say that that was also brought up, so that is a concern, we got it on the list here.
It is,
So,
I mean, you go past any food establishment in town, when they close, the chairs are turned upside down on the tables, and the floors are swept and gone.
And so when we start talking about this, also this, we have that on our list to
Okay,
address.
very
Thank
good.
you for bringing it up, I'm glad that
Very
we're on
good.
the same page on that also, so it's good to know.
Representative.
Thank you, Chief. I just wanted to add on to some magical words that were just used, and that's called strategic planning. This tribal council is beginning strategic planning for this tribe, and I applaud you all for going in that direction. I look forward to having an opportunity to give my input, but I want to remind everyone that on Saturday, March 14th, the Delaware tribe, you got the flyers that are, most of y'all have seen the flyers already, but we're gonna have a stomp dance up at the Fairgrounds building in Dewey. We had originally, the original plan was hold the stomp dance. We'll start at, 6 o'clock and have an evening program. But now, after conferring with Chief Brooks, a public town hall meeting related to strategic planning will be held earlier in the day. Chief, did I understand correctly? You're gonna try to start it at 2 o'clock that day?
Same day as the stomp band.
At the same place too, up there in Dewey. So I hope that people's concerns, their wish list of what they'd like to see with the tribe and where they'd like to see the tribe go is brought to such public town hall meetings and added to consideration for an overall strategic plan that can be adopted by this tribe, and that it stays on the books as what the Delaware tribal members want, and it survives any election cycle, whoever may or may not get elected.
And that would also be a great time for us to have a sign up for a committee to discuss the use of the hall. So I will make sure that we have at least a sign up and contact information for whoever wants to.
Strategic
Thank
plan
you,
or
Curtis.
anything like that around
So
here
yeah, we can do that.
It's the
To
first time?
get started, right?
It had been, what happened to it? Where's the paperwork, where's the ideal?
I'd like to know that too.
I hear a lot of talk about the use of the hall, and yes, that is a big issue, but no one's bringing up the secondary issue of use of the kitchen. Yes, before you all had the Title VI program, there was a kitchen that did exist. However, and years ago, the Title VI funding paid for a brand new kitchen, brand new equipment, and it became a Title VI kitchen when the Title VI program remade a kitchen. Unfortunately, that did take out a community kitchen, a very small community kitchen. Yes, the Delaware Title VI kitchen has so much great equipment, but it is because it was paid for by Title VI that the Title VI employees cannot allow excess traffic unsupervised. That has been the biggest underlying issue. Because we have let it been used unsupervised, and I have returned to unsanitary conditions where I had to stop my whole beginning processes of meal prep to clean dishes, clean sinks, clean floors, clean fryers, before I could start on any food prep, has been my underlying issue. I do not know your name, ma'am, but you
Sarah
brought...
Boyd.
Sarah? She brought up about a community kitchen. That would be a very great opportunity, but it would not also limit the Forsyth Hall use if, as, I don't know where she went. Oh, she's right there, sorry, my eyesight's bad. She brought up, we have excess land that we do not use, just beyond the stomp circle that was made. That would be a great area to build a community kitchen. It would be close to the Forsyth Hall. The doors, the only issue would be, kind of where all that stuff is, and probably should be cleaned out for better traffic if they're gonna build a community kitchen out there. There's the line system right outside there, so a community kitchen could easily be built, water could be supplied, proper plumbing, electrical. That would be a perfect place for a community kitchen. As far as use of the Title VI kitchen, unsupervised use cannot be done whatsoever without the grant being pulled from this program. That is the issue I wanted to talk about today. I do not understand everything that is going on with the Forsyth Hall. All I know is that in the weights and procedures, it still spoke about a Title VI employee being there. That's what I know to that extent. As far as all this other bickering, I cannot make 2 cents of what is being said or back and forth. The Title VI kitchen is Title VI kitchen, and I am greatly saddened that the community kitchen was lost for it.
I just have a quick statement to make. I think the Title VI statement as that an employee has to be present only applies to the kitchen use. It does not apply to the hall use.
Correct. I am only speaking of the kitchen use. So as far as the Forsyth Hall use,
But we have in the past been required, when we have a moccasin class, to have a Title VI person there. Because
I
we
said
as
my piece
Delaware are
about
not
the
smart
kitchen, I don't know
enough
about
to
the
move
Mine's
Forsyth.
still a salt and pepper shaker. still.
That's right. God forbid
Just
she
give
was
us
still
a
there.
chance, give us a chance to rewrite.
Huh?
Give us a chance to
I will.
rewrite. It's already been addressed.
But in the meantime, we shouldn't have to have somebody there. We ought to be able to schedule it when we want, if it's not rented out.
Benita.
Thank you, Chief. So I think with all of this being said, it's definitely brought an awareness that we have a need. We have a need to have a community kitchen. We do have, like I said, we've got a kitchen downstairs, we've got a kitchen over here that
There's
we
one
could
right
use
over
maybe
there.
in the interim.
There used to be one over there, right
Yeah.
behind that door.
Right, there's one,
No,
well,
I think
it's
they
still
took
there.
that
They
stuff
took
out.
it out.
It's got a refrigerator in there.
So we do have some access to kitchen area that we could possibly use in the interim. I think that it got out of hand with the way it was handled. And I put fault on this council, and I also put fault on our operations manager and the way it was managed. I think a lot of this could have been avoided with solution, with, problem solving, and recognize that with that Title VI, and I understand trying to keep the sanitary, keeping that kitchen, I mean, we're doing food prep for, 8 people now? I mean, it's a lot, and we want to keep it sanitary, absolutely, but at the same time, don't take away from your members. Find that solution, and if that means all of us collectively coming together, let's do that.
Exactly what Jeremy said.
She's always the voice of reason.
Roger Stewart.
Yeah.
Can I ask about the live stream? Are we not live streaming today?
Behind you.
It is live streaming right now.
Okay, I got a text from someone said it wasn't.
Roger Stewart. You
Yes,
said you
Mr.
had a
Chairman.
presentation, but it'd take 15 minutes.
I just want to introduce Jared Martin. He can present now.
Yep.
Okay, I've written a proposal for having the Delaware get into the cannabis industry. It's a $6.1 billion industry, and in the next 5 years, it's gonna be, it's projected to grow to 14.1 billion. And this would be, so that's quite a bit, but I have a little plan set up for a 3-part, everybody have this one? That one just goes over cost of different amounts of plants. And then it also shows what your return on investment would be, at the very bottom. Is there not 7? You're good.
Thank you.
And that's it. But it's a 3-part system, which really has very little initial investment on it to kind of build a relationship and stuff, to get to know me and be able to see what I can do, what I can produce. and then from there it goes and grows. But after that first initial investment, the money that's made from the plants will pay for the next level. And then that money pays for the next level. So there's only that first initial investment. But, and it's really, there's a lot of different ways you can work it. But there's it's a new market, and there's a lot of money out there to be made in it.
Mr. Martin,
Yeah.
I didn't quite hear your, the beginning of your proposal. What is this all about again now?
Cannabis.
Oh, cannabis?
Growing
Okay.
cannabis, yes.
What are you? Are you a grower?
Yes, I'm a grower.
Facility?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
And that's what I'm presenting.
I'm
is,
sorry,
yeah.
I missed that first part of it.
Well, yeah, we're just a three-step process to slowly build into just a larger facility. You know, the first step would be 25 plants, and from that 25 plants, should be able to bring in at least $25,000. And then turn that money right back over into the second stage, which would be 100 plants, and turn that into 100,000. And then the third stage, turn that, be 1,000 plants, and then turn that into 1 million. And it all starts with the initial investment of $8,000.
$8,000 initial investment?
Yes,
You
no
can be
more
done
investment
in a
after
year.
that, the plants pay for themselves after that.
Pardon me?
No.
Yeah, you.
Okay, yeah. After the initial investment, there's no more investment from the tribe.
Oh,
The plants
okay,
themselves pay for it from ourselves.
Is this gonna be, are you talking about indoor, outdoor, or both?
Indoor.
Indoor.
Right, or both would be just fine, but indoor currently with the numbers I'm talking about, with the 25 and 100 plants.
Is this included, you have a location or indoor location?
No, a building is needed. A metal building or anything, 450 square foot for the very first.
We need to find a building, is that what you're saying? We need to build a building or find a building?
Yeah, a structure would need to be
Okay.
included. Yes,
Is this in Oklahoma, Kansas, or?
Oklahoma.
So that's not included in the original investment in the building.
The building is not, no.
Okay.
No, the building is, yeah,
That's gonna be
that's
the
a big
biggest
cost.
expensive.
If there was one already available, and I'm able to build hoop houses or greenhouses also. And so if there was land available to build on, then that's another option too.
What about the licensing fees?
The $2,500, that's in there.
That's included there?
Yes.
Are you currently licensed?
I'm not a licensed grower, I'm a licensed patient. So yes, that would cover the license for that. That's in the price also. I've been working on it in the wholesale, and they're doing excellent.
Thank you.
Can members get copies of all these reports y'all see? I sent an email to you. I sent an email to you and Charlotte several weeks ago asking for copies of last month's, and never heard back from either one of you.
We'll do an Open Records Act.
Huh?
We'll do an Open Records Act this year. There's so many questions.
But the reports ought to be laying on that table with everything else when we come to next.
Pass it around.
Still broke.
Yeah, we do have an open records policy, but the tribe also has a policy for like extensive reports, but whoever wants the reports has to pay, I think it's 10 cents a copy.
I'm just talking about what you had in your packet.
Well,
But if you made what all we got in our packet for everybody in here, you're talking about a lot of pages.
I would suggest, can we put it online, upload it?
Put it online.
Digitally,
Absolutely.
since they're submitted digitally, can we not upload them digitally so that everyone can see what we see?
There you go.
Because that would alleviate some of the concerns, obviously, if everyone else can see what we see. We upload them digitally onto the website, or have a link, something on the server, they can go and download the page, just like I download my packet from my email.
Right.
It is emailed to us, the council.
I don't care how I get it.
Who could do that?
As long as I get a copy.
Can we get that to, can we do that? I mean, I'll pay you.
Why don't we just make copies and leave them out there in the front lobby, so everybody that tribal members don't have no problem downloading whatever, make copies and leave it out in the lobby.
We're talking about several reams of paper and a lot of copies, a lot of cost associated with that, which probably wouldn't be used. Maybe if
Just make so many copies, make 20 copies. If 20 tribal members wanna come and see what you guys have, let them come up here to tribal office and pick it up.
That's fine too. But, yeah.
We'd have to move and try to.
copies could be made when people came in or something.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, they come in, we can make copies and then process it, and then it makes sense, just allow access.
Okay. Those tribal members that want to talk about employees have any objection that down at the back of the agenda? That way people won't have to, I think about 6 people raised their hand. If we did it right now, it'd be 4 o'clock before we were done. Yes,
Are we talking about that silly thing on Facebook and service? Is that part of the employee? No. Is that the one we're talking about?
we're talking about all kinds of complaints about employees.
These will be
And
formal
we can't
complaints.
hear them except in executive session. Can you?
You don't have to change anything for me. I marked off the whole afternoon, you guys take care of your
Yeah,
time.
absolutely.
Don't worry about me.
Thank you.
You're just enjoying the show.
Then let's do this. Let's just go on with the agenda. The next item of business, reading of the minutes of our last meeting. Okay,
One little thing, just back, and this is around the meeting minutes. The last time the meeting minutes were posted on the website was May of 2019. I just looked it up. Are we gonna start doing that again? Did we
Yeah,
stop?
there's some missing. There's 4 missing. I just need to sign. That's all.
Okay. Thank you.
They're there. They haven't posted. My apologies. I didn't know I needed to sign.
we've got the minutes here of our meeting of January the 18th. Do I hear a motion to approve these minutes?
Make a motion to approve them, so we can discuss them also.
Okay, do I hear a second?
I'll second. Then,
Motion been made and seconded to approve and amend the minutes. Do I hear any additions or corrections to the minutes?
Discussion. We talked about something that was wrong in the minutes. Can't remember what it was.
It's a resolution for 2020-02.
Where's that at, Charles? On what
Second
page?
page, back page.
Oh, there were, Oh, yeah, you're right, there was only one no and one abstention.
Two abstentions.
Two abstentions, okay.
I'm the only one voting.
Right.
That's all the corrections I see.
Yeah.
I do have one, it's just simply whether, it doesn't list on the motion for the letter, concerning our stand on non-federally recognized tribes, and it doesn't state whether that passed or not. I know it did, I was gonna say it there.
I don't have a vote for it.
Do we not vote on
I
that?
don't think we voted.
Okay.
I don't know
I don't know.
whether they voted on it or not, but the letter hasn't been signed.
I think we voted
Because there were two letters,
unanimously approved.
there were two different,
So,
I'm sorry, there were two different letters addressed. One was to the heads of the governors of each state, and the other was about.
you're right,
our
all
stance.
approved, it should say all approved.
Okay, thank you, I was just, let me make sure.
It says all approved.
You know, on the bottom of the, second page,
Oh, this one, it's the same,
it's all,
no, it's, all right, you're right.
all right, thank you.
Yeah, on that one, but this is different place. I thought it was the same thing, it's like the same subject.
Do I hear any additional additions or corrections?
No. I'll change my motion to that revised.
Been all in favor of approval of the amendments as corrected, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. We had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 yes and 2 no's.
No, one no, one abstention.
One no and 1 abstain, okay. Let the record show 5 yes, 1 no and 1 abstention. Under unfinished business, got resolution 2020-03, assumption of state historical preservation office functions.
Chief, I would like to move to pass the motion. I'm satisfied with the email from Bryce Obermeyer that came through explaining as best he could. Somebody has to be it.
Yeah.
He's the person who needs to be it. So we're not giving him our program. He needs to be it.
Is there any more discussion on the subject? If not, all in favor of
I did. Second.
If not, all in favor of resolution 2020-03, please say aye.
Aye.
Financials for January of 2020, which I understand we just got yesterday. Joe Brooks.
Chief, I'm gonna make a motion to table the financials for that exact reason. Because as a treasurer, I don't feel comfortable making a motion to pass the financials without having time to read them. Mr. Exendine, we need to start getting these packets a week before the council meeting.
Yes, sir, they're trying.
But the trying ain't gonna get you. We've been trying for 6 months.
They got a lot to do in here.
Well, you need to get them to get the reports in, because we've got a lot to do as a council. I'm making a motion to table the financials for that reason.
Motion been made to table the financials. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Have to have a second.
Then had a second. You second, Charles.
I'll second.
Motion been made and seconded to table the financials. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? Let the record show that the financials are tabled. Guys, with all the infighting going on, I'll be honest with you, this month I had read all of the monthly reports from each department. But it looks like we've got a monthly report from each department. Does anybody have any comments about the monthly reports? I hear no comment. What do you see? Then we go on to new business. And the first item of new business is Kenny Ford.
Information, let's go into executive session with Kenny Ford to discuss.
Is it a personnel issue?
It's not a personnel issue. You can't do that.
Contract issue.
That's not what executive sessions are for, contract
It's
issues.
an invoice
They're
issue.
for personnel issues, he's not an
He's not an
employee.
employee.
No.
I mean, if I'm wrong, let me know, but.
I guess, well, hey, I don't
It's
think,
contracts with the public.
I don't think that we're trying to hide anything. or Kenny
I'm not saying we do, I'm just
Discussing.
making a, I mean, like, there shouldn't be any problem with us talking about it here. I mean,
That perhaps Kenny prefers to go into.
Okay.
executive
He
session.
would.
I don't know.
I'm fine with the executive session. I just want to make it very clear, I'm not here to point the finger at anybody or do any of that. I just want to get paid.
Yeah.
And I think you guys need an explanation from me.
Yeah,
And if that's better in executive session, I'm fine with
that's what you're
I
wanting.
tell you.
But are you okay with out here?
that. Huh?
Are you okay with discussing it out here?
I think I would prefer to be in executive session.
I don't think they can legally do that.
Don't think we can legally do what?
Legally do that.
I think we can disclose what we want, absolutely.
It's whatever you guys want.
Want to go into
Well,
executive
We don't need to do that. What we agreed to, Kenny, and I as treasurer, it's my job to take care of the tribal money.
Absolutely.
All I wanna see is the extras that were added on. I wanna see billing for them.
I sent those to Joe.
We don't have them. Joe, you haven't showed them to me. Why haven't I got them?
I sent them out to the tribal council.
I'm the treasurer. Why didn't you send them to me?
Well, I sent them to the tribal council.
I didn't see them. No, he sent out the checks that's been paid.
Okay.
We want the invoices.
All right, let me interrupt here. We've had a council member that wants to go into executive session, and Kenny wants to go into executive session. Let's do that.
We will disclose what we discussed when we come back out.
I would just like that if my name is mentioned in there, that I'm taken into executive session.
You're
I
good,
don't know.
I have that right.
if you have what right.
If I'm being discussed in there, because I understand I'm trying to be made the fall guy for this, so if y'all want to throw my name out in there, I want to go in with Kenny.
Well, you don't do us that same courtesy.
Huh?
You don't do us that courtesy.
You never have done it for anybody
Bon
else.
Joe, I don't think this is a question of trying to find the fall guy.
I'm trying to find out.
From
Just
what
trying
I've
to figure
seen,
out a resolution,
All right,
how to get to the bottom of it.
all right. So what do we do, take a vote? We're going into executive session?
Yeah.
make a motion.
All in favor of going into executive session, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
Looks like you're up, Kenny.
You go, Kenny, you go.
So,
Kenny's not an employee.
Did you guys want to take a break? Didn't somebody say they wanted a break before you did this?
Yeah, could we take about 3 or 4 minute break?
Yeah, I'm back.
No, I think we
Just
should
go on.
use the gas.
it's whatever you guys want to do.
Gas.
I don't care.
He's been here long enough.
So,
We let Kenny talk.
we ended up with about $30,000 worth of change orders on this deal. I ended up sending Joe a deal that was, I think, for 26. I told him if we could settle, let's go to 23. Joe, I read your deal, you're correct on the 148 that we were paid or whatever, which is, there was some of these change orders that were not even in the 26. I was just eating it. I've always been a friend of the Delaware tribe. One of them was the kitchen. Charles, I think you may have been involved on that. We had to pull the sink out, the dishwashing sink, we tore out sheetrock, we put FRP up on the wall, it was about,
I knew about it.
And what kitchen?
here,
Huh?
we're side.
No, we hired that done by Kenny Foreman's son. I mean, not Kenny. What your name, brother? I don't know.
Well, my guy-
Frank-
No, there was
Frank
another,
Buford. Frank Buford's son did the work.
there was
No, I
another
got the work
issue.
done.
Well, I know we paid Frank Buford, did
I don't
and I
know.
seen him in there doing the work.
We come in on the weekend, pull the dishwashing sink out, replace sheetrock, put up FRP, plumbers come back in, put the dishwashing sink
I
back.
disagree with you, you did not.
Well, I've never lied on the job before, Joe, and I won't start today.
I wouldn't do it, it's going on, I didn't know.
I'll get Buford Construction to come in.
I would like to
I'd show you a
clarify
check.
that the pay that we have only been sent, we have a pretty extensive list of all these change orders right here.
Yeah.
Everything's accounted for.
Joe, do you know if we paid for the kitchen repairs, stuff like that, to a different source?
I don't know off the top, but what I will say is a lot of those invoices I have, I think only 3 of them were for change orders. The rest of them were just regular.
See a $99, no, this is the kitchen.
The chief also noticed we did the kitchen, because we did bid on it.
Change order.
Actually, I don't know who did the kitchen.
Well, Joe, do you
Yes, you
remember?
do. You authorized it.
started about
Found out about it.
2,000 things, so I'm saying.
I came in on
I
the
have-
weekend, my guys came in on the weekend. and
Mr.
scored it.
Foreman, I have a question. When did you first alert us to our outstanding balance with you?
Lord, I have no idea, it's been a while.
It's been a while?
Yeah.
Okay.
Kenny, did you subcontract that work, or did you,
That was all subcontracted to town, I had a plumber, which is Lee Plumbing.
is there any chance that we paid the subcontractor rather than you?
No, I paid the subcontractor.
Question.
The only person that hasn't been paid on this job is Talon, and they're just buddies of mine. This, every bit of money is gonna go straight to them. I have nothing in this.
Chairman.
I just have a question. It's not actually, I wasn't here on council during that time, so I have no say whatsoever, really, or no idea. I'm trying to get caught up on this, so I really don't have a question
Sure.
for you necessarily. I'm just trying to understand how we can have a project go through without contract signed provisions for change orders, when we have policies and procurement procedures. I don't understand how this even occurred without those signed contracts and our procurement policies being followed. So I'm at a loss there. That's where I'm at right now. And so that's my question, is how did this occur without those steps, which are clearly stated in our approved procurement policies? I don't
Not his fault.
No, I'm not saying it is.
No, not
Exactly. And that's, I'm not talking about you at all.
Well, if
So
I
that's,
could-
that's actually a question for those who are here on
If I
council
could-
and who were on council previously.
If I can speak to that, and I've actually sat down with a couple of different people in this room and said, let me help you. Because what you're doing, you're gonna get yourself in trouble. So, I had a drawing, it was on a piece of paper this size right here. It doesn't resemble anything to what we ended up doing. Gosh, I had direction from multiple people in this room and some that aren't even in this room. So, that's how you got there.
Yeah, that's.
Kenny, I don't want to get into a heated argument, but if I can show you a check from the accounting department who we paid, because you bid on it, I remember you bidding on it,
I've done work.
but we beat your bid by $2,000.
You had two projects. You had two projects. I done one.
Not for putting the wall up for waterproof.
I done one, which is right behind the dishwashing sink, and it's got FRP on it. I can show you invoices.
Oh, just right behind the dishwasher?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
That's a separate project altogether.
Yeah.
I thought you talking about you did the whole thing. I was gonna say, no,
sir.
Buford Construction did.
I ended up, we come in on the weekend, and this stuff was added to, just kept adding to the contract. My original bid, and Charles, you may remember this, on Joe and Joe.
Yeah, we did a walkthrough and.
Right.
It was
There
just
wasn't
right
even-
behind the dishwasher, correct?
No, I don't remember anything on the kitchen.
He's talking about the walkthrough.
On this area, I'm talking about, there wasn't even carpet in there.
No, right.
So this carpet was a change order.
We did that.
Yeah, I
That door right
remember
there
that.
was a change order.
Yeah, you're supposed to put down tile to start with.
Yeah, so, I mean, guys, I've been a friend of the Delaware Nation for many years. I probably give more than I have received. And I wanna do, when we walk out of here today, I still wanna be a friend to the Delaware tribe. So, you tell me what we need to do. And we'll discuss it.
Dilbert.
As a treasurer, Kenny, what I want to see is, we've got the original bid for this room, which was 99,000, I don't remember the exact figure. And then we got the bid on child support, which was 33,000 some odd dollars.
39, I think.
That was 33 to start with. But what I want to see is billing and invoices from you on the add-ons.
Okay,
I know you did them,
Right.
but I want to see some billing on it, where I can take all the contracts and add them together.
I'll be right here.
And then take what we paid and we'll figure it out.
I'll be glad to get that for you.
Okay. Okay,
You should have already.
that's all I'm asking.
Yeah, you should have already done it.
So I was clear, there's no contract, is there, or is there not a contract?
There was a contract originally for this area right here before the childcare stuff happened behind the wall here.
The child support services.
Right. That was added on to this project. Then the kitchen part got added on.
So where's that paperwork?
There's no paperwork. It's like, hey, while you're doing it, go ahead and do this, and go ahead and do this. There were some emails, some text messages, and different things about cost, but it was an addition to the contract.
So the tribal council at that time just sent you text messages, emails, and told you to add on and do things?
We may be calling them.
Yeah, there was verbal discussions, there was phone calls, there was text messages, hey, come up here, I want to show you something.
We weren't calling them, I apologize. We're calling them change orders, but there was never a plan in the first place. So there was nothing ever changed.
And guys, I'm just gonna tell you, going forward, if I never do work for you again, and I'm talking to you guys, you've got to have plans, you've got to have specs, you've got to have that stuff in place.
You're
That's
talking
why
to
we're
a
here.
different council now, so I
You were on the
totally
council.
agree with.
That's exactly what I'm.
Yeah, and I never got any of this information then.
I mean, seriously, you're
There's
gonna,
5 of you that were still on the.
the last thing I would do is take advantage of you guys.
But there also should have been penalty clause in it.
And I'm just telling you, and there's things you can do and things you can't do that are gonna get you in trouble. And I'd be more than willing to sit down and help you guys understand this.
We want to pay you, we do. We want to make sure that we are a good business partner and make sure that you get what you need. We just have to make sure it's taken care of from our end. And we're hoping that you will work with us to make sure that those, whatever, if they're change orders or if they were directives, that we can put some paperwork to it. Because we also have an audit coming and we're gonna need to fulfill that audit.
Absolutely, and I want to provide you guys with as much as I can. I can provide you with invoices. Where I'm gonna struggle is direction.
Same info though.
Where'd you get this direction? That's what's gonna hurt you guys in the audit as well.
These are fixed.
Just do the invoices.
And thank you for coming here today.
You bet.
How much money are we talking about? If I might say.
You know, it's in the $20,000 range. And I don't know if I'm at liberty to say that or not, Joe.
It's okay.
I don't have the exact figures. It's a little
Yeah,
over
22,
I just
87
want
figures,
documentation.
The real number is,
27.
it's really even more than that, because I let some stuff out. I didn't charge you for the data drops and things like that.
The number, so, like, the number, I'm just trying to, what we had said here.
Right.
The number we started with is 27,387,
Yeah, and I said, we can get this
and
done.
down for 22,387.
Yep.
Okay, that's what their numbers are working with, just so you know.
And I can tell you all that invoice was outstanding when I left council. So it's been outstanding for over a year and 3 or 4 months. That's never been addressed. So that is not your fault. I think that's the tribal operations manager's fault.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Do the council have to vote on all of these contracts? And do the council have to vote on change orders?
Yes.
So what was the resolution for his particular contract and his particular change order that Bonnie's referring to?
We did vote on Kenny's contract.
And the change orders
but-
as well?
But they made a bunch of change orders, which I don't,
Nope.
I don't think was voted on properly.
So if the procurement policy was, you have to vote on it, is over 10,000, I think that's what I heard, shouldn't the, right, 5,000, excuse me, 5,000. 5,000, then the council should vote on all of the change orders that are over 5,000 as well. Did you guys vote on that?
Not to my knowledge.
Yeah.
You didn't vote on it?
Not that I'm aware of. I don't think any single change was over $5,000.
Can I?
Yeah.
So let's not, and with all due respect, let's not confuse change orders with directives. The change order is something that's submitted that either the owner submits or I submit. Typically unforeseen changes or something like that. We tore into the wall, it's got termites or something like that, okay? These were directives. We don't want to do this, we want to do that. Okay, and I don't think anything really equaled over $5 grand at the time, but you do 6 or 8 of them, and the next thing you're
Thank you for that clarification, because I mean, honestly, you're going on directives of the council. And so then, what I'm saying is the fault lies within the council at that point.
So, let me just say.
After a year, it becomes your problem.
Yeah. So I
Should have been
started
addressed
out
back then.
with Alan Barnes, and Alan's got letters. Did I do a deal or something?
No,
Who was it?
after Alan,
Before Joe got here.
Alan and Joe.
There was a space of time in there, I don't think there was anybody here. But anyway, I dealt with multiple people, not just council, so I want to make sure that's.
And that's,
Chad, can I ask a question? It seems like this could be germane to the questions. How did you know that you could go ahead and do all those things? Somebody had to tell you. Everybody's sitting up there saying, we didn't tell you anything. Somebody, Ken, had to tell you to go do those things. Who was that?
Well, it was multiple people.
You can't disclose
You
it.
can't disclose it in an open meeting,
Why not?
because you can't name names.
Oh, it was are you saying it was an employee?
It wasn't an employee. I was saying I made some changes. I own it. They were putting a door right there at that entryway. Well, they couldn't get in there at night to clean the restrooms, and I said, we can't do that. You've got to be able to clean in there. So I talked to Chief, and we decided that glass door there was best. And here in these offices, that wall was making one very small office and one very large office, and I told Kenny, I said, this was supposed to, but he had nothing drawn to schedule, so he didn't know. So we moved that wall.
So you made a decision without
So you
council?
did it without anyone's approval?
You two
of
were
it?
working together, you and him were working together?
And Joe and Charles,
But she said it was you.
Joe asked about put the ductwork in there. He made some changes there.
But you just said it was you and Chief that made that
But
call.
I didn't.
On that, it wasn't
But you didn't
$5,000.
bring it to the rest of the council.
No,
for a
because
vote.
it-
Doesn't have to. Less than
But no, that was the question, was who gave him the directives to do these projects?
Ken, why did you do that? You're a businessman. If you knew you had to have approval, that blows me away.
If I have council, multiple council people tell me to do something, do I tell them not to do it?
Well, no, you write up some paperwork and you put
And
it
it
on
was in
paper.
addition to the contract, it was not a change in the contract, it was just adding to the contract.
I know,
Over here-
that's called a change and it calls for.
No, ma'am. Ma'am, I just finished a $50 million casino, I know what a change order is, and these are not change orders.
It's
These
not
are,
his fault.
But you put yourself in this situation. I'm not trying to be critical, I'm just a person out here listening
Well-
to this conversation. It's so absurd, it just drives me crazy.
well, if I might add, I've always done stuff for the Delaware Tribe,
Well,
and
yeah,
I've
well,
always been.
that's the first mistake.
Well, I don't think
Point of
so.
order, Chief. Point of order.
Point of order.
I'm gonna oppose it. I don't think any tribal member has got the right to tell any foreman that he's done something wrong.
I'm not saying
I
he did anything wrong, I'm just saying I want.
Any tribal member has got the right to tell the tribal council individual members that they've done something wrong, unless it's an executive session. And that's where we're going next. The question is, what are we gonna do today about Kent? Wait just a minute, Kent.
Chief, I will get each one of you a copy of what the changes are and how they add up. And then now your treasurer can look at them, go from there and look at what he is correct. His numbers are correct on what you paid.
I think we see where the problem is right here. Showing you. I think I see the problem. Plus, down to the bottom, showing, that's a total. Yeah, show that again. We've got one invoice here that says 37, and then it's changed to 58. Is that a change order? Okay.
We do it. Let me get you guys, each one of you, copies. And if we want, I can sit down individually with each one of you and go over it. However you want to do it, just let me know.
Let's do that.
My number one priority is when I want to walk out of here, after this is all said and done, I want you guys to have paper for me, and I want you to have paper. That's it. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you.
I make the motion to table the foreman contract dispute until we sit down together and go over figures.
Second.
Okay, we're gonna have about an hour's worth of executive session, I think. Okay, all in favor of the table and action on the different forms, so we have a chance to meet, figures to the contract, I guess. Please say aye. Aye. Now, I presume any no votes or any abstentions, I presume he would prefer not to wait a month. It will be poll voted.
Ready to the record.
If it's over or something.
Just check with you that Charles, Chief, and me sit down with you, go over the figures.
I'm fine with any of
Then
it.
we'll call for a vote.
Right, as long as everybody's getting
The information.
Yeah.
information.
Yes, I agree, thank you.
We'll let you know what we come up with.
Yeah.
We've got a vacancy secretary, with one of the council members
Don't everybody speak up at once.
Jeremy?
I've been here 3 years.
Huh?
I'm gonna learn.
Like you talked about, it's done in minutes. You'll tell me, John, records every one of it. You don't look at me, I'm the treasurer.
Charles is the assistant too.
That's right.
We need to have secretary.
Yeah, we need a secretary.
I will volunteer to do the minutes this time again, if someone will volunteer to be
You volunteer for what?
Joseph volunteering.
Joanne.
I know.
Chief, there are individuals out there that for a fee will come in and record your minutes and then transcribe them and get them back to you. I don't know how expensive they are, but I know other tribes use them.
Well,
I don't think
That's
secretary
not our
has to be a
constitution.
councilman.
Yes.
yes, it
Go by the
does.
Constitution.
There's some ways about brothers and treasurers that should be a councilman in the Constitution, but not the secretary.
The secretary has to be a council member also.
Well, but I mean, that would provide a service for you.
I got it. Guys, I know. Hey, I got a recording going right here. And I got an executive assistant.
You can't assume two duties spelled out. in the
No, I
Constitution.
can't, but I can get the minutes out.
It's spelled out in the Constitution.
Technically, being the secretary. What I'm trying to say is, we really need somebody to at least officially be the secretary. And I could get Charlemagne to do the work.
The secretary doesn't have to do it.
Just need, you gotta review them and make sure.
Nobody
they're
else,
right.
nobody else wants to step up.
If nobody else is stepping
Just
up.
leave me on that. I just don't like the next department. I just don't like a lot of the way things being done. I'm covered up and work at 40 hours. And I don't, I'm not airing the way for business that I don't want.
Chad, you got a hand up.
Yes.
Train one of the tribal members, job training.
Gotta be.
Councilman,
Try to
for a
council.
councilman, train them. Make a position. We got 7 committees, don't we?
Actually,
You volunteered to do this with Charles.
I didn't do it last time.
He's a free. Which it spells out their duties of what their job is.
Yeah, I have 4 jobs and I'm not
No,
doing
I'm
the
not
work,
saying,
yeah.
I totally feel
I
you.
agree with you there. But I know why, too.
If nobody else wants to step up.
if nobody else wants to step up, we'll get
I'm the secretary still.
No, there's not one. You resigned.
I never resigned.
You gotta accept your resignation.
I never resigned. I'm afraid to use that word around y'all.
Okay. Would somebody read? I'm not sure that it even needs to be read at this point. Resolution 2020-04.
Been tabled already.
No, that's
No.
not.
Can I make a motion to table that resolution, please, 2020-04?
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Third.
I'm gonna do the minutes, I don't do the second.
We got a second,
Just pick one.
we got a second, a third, and a fourth.
Then all in favor of table
Any discussion, please?
discussion.
I'd like to say at least one thing is that we've had this space for 20 years and have never had this much conflict over it. That has been a happy place. I have been coming up to that room for many, 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 many years. And we've seen all kinds of things, and we've never had problems with fellowship between us. So there's a larger problem here. I just want to say.
I want to address something about that too. In a good way. From the very beginning of the argument about the kitchen and Forsyth Hall, I've always thought that it was a fight between a couple or three individuals about who was the boss. Who's gonna be the boss of Forsyth Hall? Okay. I've always thought that. Still do think it. Fight about who's gonna be the boss. That brings to my mind another thing that I heard from my mother when I was a little bitty boy. Too many chiefs, not enough Indians. We're not all gonna be boss everyone. I'm not the boss of this tribe. This tribal council is by election with the ultimate exception of a majority vote of our total tribal membership.
Or one.
So, my talk about tabling this motion was that if we table it, the fights is going to continue.
No, it's not.
So all I'm trying to say is if we table it, let's build this policy. And make it clear to everybody, employees, tribal members, it's what we're gonna do by. That's all I got to say.
Jeremy, would you be willing to work with Charles by telephone, right?
Well,
Because you've taken a bunch of notes.
yeah, I think we're gonna obviously solicit the opinions of our
Yeah.
membership.
Yeah, I've been listening
To work with them to write, so I'm waiting until we have our town hall, honestly, to address rewriting it, because I want to make sure we get our meeting ready from 3 weeks or so.
I would like to see the policy written by the council and not the Title VI director.
That's what I'm talking about.
Again, I'll be willing to work with once we get our input. And whoever else wants to help.
You heard my input already.
We did Archie.
I'd like to ask that in discussion of the Forsyth Hall, that you all do understand the separation of the Forsyth Hall and the Title VI kitchen.
Yeah.
That has been one issue that's been brought up to me, is use of the kitchen. And as I've already stated earlier, unfortunately, the tribe did lose the community kitchen, and it became a Title VI kitchen, which has a lot stricter rules and boundaries that if the Title VI head directors in DC found out about, would rip all funding and all equipment from it. So please take into consideration that with discussion of the Forsyth Hall, that you please remain the kitchen a completely out of its entity.
I was gonna say something about that, but I'm going to get involved
I was going to say that years and years ago, they did work in harmony. They just shut the kitchen and didn't let anybody in the kitchen. And that was, like Archie says, they excluded the kitchen from public use, and there was never a problem.
I agree with you on that. I think that's the best way.
I know,
to-
and you
I don't
know
think
what,
we need
this whole
policy,
thing
honestly.
started, Bonnie, when you took those tables out of that room, is when that started last September.
Give it up, Paula, I borrowed 3 tables, or still
No,
don't.
4. The 4 tables that she took started this whole uproar.
If you want.
Back in September, and here it is, September, October, November, December, January,
No.
February.
I disagree
with
This has been going on long before then.
Oh, it's going on.
Yes, it was, Annette.
That's not.
So that brought it to a head.
No.
Tables had nothing to do with the use of
Been
the room.
brought up.
The
The chief had given permission.
What order?
Excuse me, I beg your pardon, I was
You
wrong, I
know,
didn't know that.
guys, I'll tell you, here's the truth. Some of these people sitting up here, and some of you out there, you've seen the incident. Because it does. We're all interested in showing that we're the boss. When I'm finished the game, the truth of the matter is, it's in our Constitution, who's the boss. This council, by majority vote, is the boss. Now, we've got certain things where we make tribal operations manager is the boss of the employees. Not me, not any one of you, not any one of these council members is the boss. This council is elected to be the ultimate authority.
And I
And I'm
respect that.
finished.
I'm sorry, I respect that, Chief.
This council can do what it wants, but it must do what our Constitution says. Each one of us that's elected to be the chief, assistant chief, secretary, the treasurer, we've all got certain duties. And this council can give me by majority to have authority to do what they say. They've only done that once. none of the rest of the council can be given authority so I guess if the council wanted to make me the boss, they can give me that authority. Matter of fact, the prior council did. Prior council at one point said, each one of us is not gonna go tell tribal operations manager, here is what you have to do, and do it immediately. That's unconstitutional. We're not ever gonna go anywhere until we start getting the Constitution. Yes.
I just want to say something. I wasn't born and raised here. I'm a Porter, Delaware, from the Folly clan. I moved here in 2005. When I moved here, the first general council I ever went to in Forsyth Hall was standing room only. People everywhere. We had a quorum, and the way I see it, it comes down to respect. This family's against that family, and this person's against that person, and this person thinks they run that, and that one thinks they run that. It comes down to respect. I personally have not had an issue with Forsyth Hall working with Rhonda or anybody in the tribe on behalf of the Delaware War Mothers. And I think that's because of respect. Everybody needs to show everybody respect, even if you don't like it. Our membership has gone down, tribal council meetings, general council meetings, we can't even get hardly 30 people to show up for general council anymore. And when people see everybody arguing, and you can't get nothing solved during tribal council, nobody's gonna show up.
Yeah.
We need to turn this around. Our organization, or our club, is having a hard time getting more mothers in because the younger generation don't want to do anything. Some of them don't even want to come around because of all the arguing. If we can all just work together for the better of everybody, for the better of the tribe, for the better of this ground, we would be a hell of a lot better off.
Amen.
So, I'd like to make 2 points. One is, like the chief said, each council member has no more rights than you do out there. The only thing it is, you have chosen us to be able to vote. And we can vote as a council. As an individual, have no more power than you do. As a council, what we vote on and agree on does have merit. So, we don't have, as far as tribal stuff is concerned, we can't go to an employee and say, hey, you've got to do this, or you've got to do that. Give me something real quick, I've got to have it right now. We don't have any more right to do that than you do. But as a council, if the council votes for it, then yes, it has merit. Another thing is, you all are here and I'm glad you're here. I'm not glad for the reason you're here. Because the reason you're here is because you're dissatisfied. Right?
Yes.
Okay. This is two-sided copies of emails and postings that have been posted attacking council and attacking employees. That doesn't do us any good. This tribe, we have done a lot of fantastic things. Bonnie can speak for, we've gotten settlements of $2.some million. We've gotten land and trust. There's been a lot of good things happen in the last 2 years. But do we ever see that on the internet? No. All we see is cyberbullying and harassment. We need to start building up the tribe instead of tearing it down. Agreed?
So, the only problem with it, I agree with your sentiment, man, but when you see something wrong, you should say something. And I think I've seen some wrong things.
So that's, I'm just speaking my mind. I'm just doing what I think is right. I think I'm following the Constitution. I'm not trying to cause a problem. I'm trying to make sure you have more information, that you know about how much these contracts are for. That's what I'm asking. I've chosen it in you, we're settling it there. But I think when you do see something that you don't think is right, you must speak up and not just go along to get along. Some people cannot take any criticism. But we should always be true to ourselves. Thank you.
Somebody, be darn road.
Can I say one more thing? Sorry. I feel like a lot of this has to do with the fact that most of us feel that this is the only thing we have for Side Hall. That is where we go as our community. That's where we go, yeah. That's all we have. When we built that building, we had Senate Cut building, which was a little bitty house. So there's just so much invested in there.
This is our membership of
Call the question.
your
2020 over.
Okay. All in favor of tabling Forsyth Hall written policy senior resolution 2020-04, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? Let the record show that resolution 2020-04 is tabled. The next resolutions are new membership. And I think we get better day.
That's on the third one. Second one from the back.
The Delaware Tribal Council is authorized by Article 5 of the Constitution and bylaws of the Delaware Tribe of Indians to represent and act in all matters that concern the general welfare of the tribe. And whereas the Delaware Tribal Council of the Delaware Tribe of Indians adopts this resolution in accordance with the Delaware Tribal Membership Act to approve for membership individuals that have been initially approved by the enrollment director as eligible for tribal membership. And whereas the following applicants have been determined eligible by the enrollment director: Aubrey Dodson, Danielle Kolka Fain, Gabriel Fain, Gwyneth Fain, Jedediah Fain, Madeline Fain, Silas Fain, Javare Finley, Brixley Martinez, John Rotella, and Peach Wilson.
I'll make a motion to approve resolution number 2020-05, road resolution.
I'll second that.
Motion been made and seconded to approve our new membership resolution 2020-05. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? never any opposition or,
Hopefully not.
or abstentions on approving the membership. Let the record show that passes unanimously.
A resolution of the Tribal Council of the Delaware Tribe of Indians to amend procurement policy and procedures. The Delaware Tribal Council of the Delaware Tribe of Indians adopts this resolution to amend procurement policies and procedures approved and adopted by Tribal Council Resolution 2019-21 on July 20, 2019. Now, therefore, be it resolved, the procurement policy and procedures, page 13, 6.1.1.3, large purchase is amended to amount of goods and service that exceed $5,000 and is under $15,000. And 6.1.1.3.1, approval, authority director, tribal operations manager, and chief. And 6.1.1.1.4, competitive bid is amended to amount of goods and services that exceeds $15,000. Approval authority by director, tribal operation manager, chief and council, quorum required. Be further resolved that the procurement policy and procedures, page 16, 7.1, are hereby amended to add recurring large payments to such vendors as Blue Cross and Blue Shield, attorney bill, tribal support services, Washington County Child Care Foundation. These recurring payments may be approved by tribal operations manager, chief financial officer, and chief. One point of order is when a resolution is amended, it needs to be announced, I believe, a month before it's amended. You have to go to the meeting at the meeting before. It has to be the meeting before.
I know,
So we didn't, we
if the
know.
resolution is gonna be repealed, it must be, not aware that if you're amending one, we're not really amending the resolution or repealing the resolution. We're changing the procurement policy. Not,
You're changing the amounts.
this resolution changes the procurement policy, doesn't override the prior resolution.
It does override prior resolution by changing the amount of money.
I know we're not in discussion, but I'd like to make a comment. In the past month, we had several invoices each week that exceed the amount in the policy, and it requires a poll vote. And those poll votes, for one, personally, I don't like the poll vote, because that's taking away from going in front of y'all, it takes away from the discussion period before poll vote. So this gets rid of the poll votes. It's things that we have to pay, it's not a question of whether we vote to approve it or not. It's things like taxes and payments that have to be made. So we continue to cost back the trial.
Actually, if we live with the procurement policy the way it's working right now, we would literally have 5 or 6 votes every week. And some weeks, we'd actually have to start having a council meeting every week if we forgot the things that recur over and over. Bonnie Jo.
I don't mean to step on Councilman Young's toes, but last month, Joe Brooks did make a motion to change the amount you could approve. And it was stated then that it was in a resolution and needed change.
Yep.
And I think that's when it was moved to this week, this month, maybe.
So that would be the, okay.
Yeah, it was announced.
Because you made that motion, Joe Brooks.
I've got second question. Oh.
Okay.
You wrote this resolution.
Did
Is
I
this-
write
Yeah, I know you did. It's
Yeah.
right there at the top. Does this 15,000, that only authorizes you? Period?
No,
No X and dot stays 5,000?
no. Anything over 15,000 has to have a majority vote of this tribal.
That's not what we discussed in the workshop. We discussed that his would stay the same, yours would only be 15,000. But I'm gonna tell you something, I'm gonna start enforcing the Constitution. My signature is required on every check that goes through this tribe. I'm hereby announcing that there's not gonna be another check that goes out of this tribe without my signature, including direct deposits, because that's also a check.
I don't know what that has to do with this resolution.
Well, how am I gonna sign a check for 15,000 if I'm not authorized? Is what I'm saying.
You're authorized, you just can't approve it.
You signed it. Only people authorized can approve it. And anything over 15,000,
I don't think
the
the tribal
tribal
operation
council has
manager
to
should be
approve
15,000.
unless it's a recurring payment.
I don't think the tribal operations manager should be 15,000.
He can't do that by himself.
Takes two signatures.
It takes more than that. It takes the chief financial officer, the chief and him.
These recurring payments may be approved by tribal operation manager, chief financial officer, and chief. There's three.
Joe, every check we sign has that backup sheet that's approved before we ever sign.
I know that for a fact. What I'm saying is on direct deposits, on payroll, I've got to approve it. Because that's the same thing as writing a check. Except it's a direct deposit right into your account.
If this council has approved this, you have been approved.
We shall not pay or otherwise disperse any funds in custody of the council except when properly authorized to do so by the council. That would be properly, that's the Constitution, authorized to do so by the council. That's the Constitution right there. Decide.
Is there more discussion on the resolution?
I'll second.
Motion been made and seconded to approve resolution 2020-06. Amend procurement policy and procedures.
Discussion? I'll vote yes if you amend it. Your resolution to read that even if you approve it, I have to sign it as treasurer.
It says that in the Constitution.
You're right.
I know it.
That's all it
It should say that in
It
here.
says in the Constitution. It says all checks shall be
For
signed
some
by the
reason,
treasurer.
we've got away from the Constitution.
This passage, we'll never see another contract come through here to be ratified again.
Well, as a matter of fact, it makes a contract that's less than $15,000
Come on.
not require approval.
Got 15,000 a month. 15,000
Lawsuit about this.
where the term it is.
Lawsuit.
If it takes an amendment to do that, I would so agree with that amendment. Because the Constitution says the treasurer will sign every check.
Already. Been over the Constitution.
Yep, we'll all abide by it.
We're gonna all abide by it. That's been said before. Never happened. It's gonna happen now. Question's been called, all those in favor of the motion to amend the procurement policy, resolution 2020-06, please say aye. Aye. I don't know how many I heard.
Six by hand.
Let's do it by hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Opposed? No. Let the record show that procurement policy is amended as per resolution 2020-06 by a vote of 6 yes and 1 no. Now, I know those that want to gripe about certain employees.
Discuss?
It's gonna take a while, I think.
I wanna go first, down to 1 hour.
You what?
I wanna go first, down to 1 hour on my own.
Only does 1 hour in air.
We'll put you first.
Okay.
That's reason. But we're gonna have to go into executive
We're gonna
session.
have to put a limit on it too, because we're supposed to do our.
How many people still want to talk about employees? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We've got limited to no more than 7 minutes each.
How much?
7.
Executive session?
Yes.
You can't discuss it with y'all, everybody should have an input while we're in there.
Wouldn't be one at a time.
We can settle for 10.
All right, then you better be listening, because I'm gonna be talking fast.
We've got a strategic planning thing that's supposed to start at 10 minutes ago, but we'll make it an hour late.
Well, you gotta vote on it. No?
No, it hasn't been voted.
I'll make a motion.
Motion made and seconded to go into executive session. Long as you're ready. Aye.